Hey everybody, so you're probably wondering why I'm in the exact same setup, in the exact same position as my main channel video this week, and that is because I've literally just turned the camera off and turned it back on because while I'm in the filming mood, I'm going to be filming a video on languages. Languages. They are a very, very tricky subject. I will tell you now, languages are probably the hardest, so like A-levels to do. Chemistry, I would say as well, is up there, but languages are so difficult because there isn't a set thing for you to learn. There is always vocab for you to be learning, there is always grammar for you to be learning, but today I'm going to be doing GCSE level languages because if you learn how the exam is set out, I can assure you, you will get an A star with ease. With ease. You do not need to know the grammar to do well at GCSE. Fact, okay, because I know none of it. None. I'm going to go through the 4 elements of the AQA exam, but every single exam board is like this. There's speaking, reading, listening and writing. I personally always found writing and reading way easier than speaking and listening, but that is just speaking from experience. That's just how I am, that's how I work. I'm a very visual learner, so it's very easy for me to read Spanish, read German, write Spanish. When it comes to speaking, I'm not as good, but that is the area that I'm working on. But for now, we're going to go on to GCSE. And yes, I am aware that the GCSE syllabus is changing. I don't know exactly how it's changing, but I think you have a more spontaneous speaking exam, which I'm afraid I cannot help you on because I have never had to do one. So maybe next year, come back and I will tell you how to do a spontaneous speaking exam. So, starting with reading. The reading paper on the AQA, I promise you, all you have to do for that paper is learn your vocabulary. I'm being serious. There is an AQA vocabulary list, okay? Learn it. If you don't learn that, if you don't learn the vocab, you are essentially ruling yourself out of a good grade because the vocabulary at GCSE, time after time is the same. Look at the past papers. You will be able to read that shit so easily if you just learn the vocab. Now, you may be thinking, but Eve, don't they put stuff on that's not on the vocab list? No. At GCSE, even if you don't know what tense it's in, like what the hell is going on, if you learn the vocab, you will be able to answer the questions because more often than not they are multiple choice. So if you know what the sentence means, you can answer it. That is the only technique there is for reading. You don't need to learn the grammar. Yes, it would be helpful to have prior knowledge of tenses because sometimes they're a bit finicky with the answers, like she went to the cinema, not she is going to the cinema. Yes, you can brush upon your tenses, but particularly me, I didn't, and I did fine. I got full marks in all of my language exams, so I really feel like I'm in a position to help you here. And I swear, all I did for language revision after I'd done my control assessments was vocabulary. I didn't do anything else. Quizlet is just a godsend. I'm going to link my 2 Spanish and German folders down below for you to have a look at, and I've got all of the GCSE vocab in there, and I mean all of it. And if you're doing Italian or French, you can import the vocab off the list. You just copy and paste it and put a comma in between all of them and it will import straight away. So for reading, that is the best way to revise. Listening, again, vocab is key, but I've already spoken about vocab. There is an extra thing that I did for listening, and that is to listen to Spanish and German on a regular basis, whether it's the radio in the background while you're working, whether you watch films in German, or Spanish or French or Italian or whatever you're learning. Listen to it a lot because I feel like the biggest shock at GCSE is that it might not be your teacher's voice, it's a man's voice, a woman's voice, like whatever you're not used to, it can come up and that can really throw you off. They speak extremely slowly at GCSE, but obviously in films and stuff they speak quickly, so don't be worried if you can't understand it. That is not the aim of this. The aim of this is for you to get used to hearing Spanish, and especially before your exam, the week leading up to your exam, just listen to it. Because I swear when you get in there, then it won't be hard. Like you'll be thinking, wow, this is easy, it's slow, like it's easy to understand. So those are my tips for the reading and listening, and I swear, follow those and you will not go wrong. Now for writing control assessments, I've got to stress the importance of just learning key phrases, right? When you write your control assessment, your teacher can mark it. And what I seriously suggest you do is take sentences out of the textbook, out of worksheets, out of everything you've done, because you know that that is grammatically correct. That is what is important with the writings. All the AQA examiners care about is that you've got all of the tenses that you can in there, all of the vocab that you can in there, and just a few fancy sentence structures. I promise you, if you just learn a few of those sentence structures and you make your essay sound as good as you possibly can with as much fancy vocab, and when I say fancy vocab, it will be off the GCSE vocab list. I can assure you there are some fancy words on there. Honestly, once you have actually written the essay, that is the hard part done. Give it to your teacher, get feedback. Give it to your teacher, get feedback until you are 100% happy with the essay that you've written. And to learn it, I hate to say it, pals, you have to sit and write it out. There's no two ways about it. I knew both of mine, well, all 5 of mine that I did, off by... You need to know those writings off by heart. Write them out again and again and again and again and again. You need to know the spellings, you need to know the dirty das, you need to know the L and the la. You need to know it properly, you need to know the conjugations of the verbs, you need to know it. You don't need to know why the verbs are conjugated that way. You don't need to know why the sentence is structured in that way. You just need to learn it. Learn it. Just that is it. It was like 3 weeks of your life learning this for 60 minutes of your life. Don't rely on the dictionary, for God's sake. It will just not help you. You do not want to be using a dictionary in that exam. You just don't. Don't go near the dictionary. Don't touch the dictionary because you will always run the risk of it not being right. Whereas you could just learn your pre-prepared material and you know that it's correct. So also what stands with your writing exams is that you essentially need to know the vocab. If you don't know the vocab, you're screwed. You need to make sure that your vocab in your writing is as diverse as you physically can possibly make it. Put in all of the difficult words that you can't pronounce because in your speaking you won't be able to use them. And for God's sake, make sure you develop your opinions. Okay, I don't care that you went to the beach on holiday, right? I want to know why you went to the beach on holiday. You went to the beach on holiday because you like the beach. Why do you like the beach? Because you like swimming. Why do you like swimming? Because you've been swimming for 5 years and you do it competitively. Why do you do it competitively? Because it helps you keep in shape. Do you see what I mean? Like, you can go off on a tangent as long as it is relevant to the subject matter, holidays or environment or whatever you're doing it on. It doesn't matter. I swear to God, just learn it and make sure it's good. That is my only tip for writings. Learn it, make sure it's good. As for speaking, it's a whole different ball game. Of course, you still need to learn that, and I suggest learning it in the same way as you have your writings. Write it out. Write it out, write it out, write it out. But once you have learned it like that, there is an extra step. You need to be able to speak it properly. Example, in Spanish, tenemos que preguntarnos, right? We have to ask ourselves. Just a phrase, okay? When you say it like this, tenemos que preguntarnos, you sound stupid to the examiner, to yourself, to the person marking it. It's just not a good place to be in. Learn how to stress, especially in Spanish and languages like that. You need to be able to stress. Tenemos que preguntarnos, you know what I mean? Preguntarnos. However, I sound French. I'm really tired, okay? You get what I mean. And German, umlauts, please, please. Please just pay attention to the umlauts because they will knock marks off you so fast if you don't do them. Example, he is travelling. Fährt. Fährt. Not fart. Fährt. You see what I mean? You need to have that, like, you need to sound like not like a native speaker because you're never going to sound like a native speaker, but you need to sound like you haven't just turned up and are reading it off a piece of paper, basically. Sound like you're there, you want to be there, and 15 of your marks are for fluency and accuracy, and with fluency comes accuracy, and with accuracy comes intonation and pronunciation and stuff like that. That's half of your marks. Your essay can be incredible, but if you do not pronounce it properly and with grace and eloquence, you ain't gonna get far, love, because I'm being serious now. It makes all the difference. Every single time I've done a speaking exam, all of my comments have been, the reason you've got full marks is because you've pronounced it properly. Just learn to pronounce it. And if you need help with pronouncing stuff, use Google Translate. You can type in anything. Here's an example. Los españoles, right? The Spanish people.
Los españoles.
It tells you how to pronounce it, just as it does in English. The Spanish.
Los españoles.
Los españoles. You see what I mean? You've got that pronunciation there. You don't want to sound like you've hopped straight off a plane from friggin' York and come into your exam being like, sounding like stupid, okay? You see what? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Because I've filmed this section of the video about 5 times now and I'm getting a little bit annoyed with myself because it just keeps deleting and I don't know why it keeps deleting and I have to leave the house in 6 minutes. you are picking up what I'm putting down. My main tips for you: reading, listening, writing and speaking. Just learn the GCSE vocab, please. Like, if there is one thing you do for your GCSE exam, is just learn the vocab, because it will help you to no end. I got a high A star in both of mine purely because I learnt my vocab. I got full marks on all of my exams, my actual exams, and I'm not saying that to brag, I'm saying that to show you literally all I did for those exams was learn the vocab. That's it. So my main tips are: learn your damn vocab, pronounce your speaking properly, please. That is half of your marks. And please, please, please develop your opinions in your control assessments, because they love it. AQA love it when you just want to get all of the connectives. Why, but, however, on the one hand, on the other hand, some people say that, we have to ask ourselves, all of them, just get them in there. AQA will lap it up like milk. Not that people lap up milk, you get what I mean. But I really, really hope you found this video useful. I swear, if you just follow these tips, I guarantee you will get a good grade, because languages at GCSE are a case of knowing the format of the exam. So if this did help you, give it a huge thumbs up, and please comment some requests down below, and I will see you very soon with a new video. Bye guys! Mwah.